Hello, welcome to the successmentors.com training on your names list. Now, the names list is very simply just a tool that we use to kind of keep track of people as we're working them through the process. And so, what you'll find is it's just a way for you to keep tabs on these people, to be able to keep a list of your names, and to help you contact and be organized as you work your business. And so, this is really a kind of a fundamental tool that you need to use if you're launching a 90-day program, or you're really getting serious about growing your business and finding some key leaders to work with, or maybe even to go out and start working with your customers. Uh, Both of those can go on here, your customers or your potential business prospects. And often you won't know when you first put their name on the list which one of those they might be. And so you're going to find that out. And this process is going to help you do that. Just a couple of notes. You see a gray line to write on and then a white line. You feel free to go outside the lines if you need a little more space to write some information or maybe to take some notes about that person. You can leave 2 lines for that. It's totally acceptable. 3 lines, I do it all the time, where if I just want to keep a lot of notes about why it was I was working with someone. So let's go ahead and get started. So the name column is really simply their name. And so, let's say you're working with your friend Bob Thompson. You might put Bob's name down there and just a little brief while you're working with Bob. I met Bob on a flight out to Texas, and he wanted to work from home. Just something to help you remember who that person was and maybe what they were interested in. So you don't want to write a paragraph here or anything. It's just a little note for yourself. So then you're going to put down Bob's, maybe his phone number, his email address, whatever it is that you have there. The preferred method of working with Bob. Of course, if you can have their phone number, that's always going to be more effective than just their email address. So you don't necessarily have to have both. If you got the phone number and that's how you do it, that's fine. So the next column over is the date you contacted them. So, when you're first getting started, you might actually just write down a bunch of names and you haven't contacted anybody. That's perfectly acceptable. When you come up with your list of names, really in the first 24 hours you should start your list, and then you're always adding to it. And as you add people to your list, you're going to work with them, and some are going to want to join you and move on in the process, and some will end the process, and that's okay. You may even find that as you do this, you decide that you don't want to allow someone to continue through the process. Maybe you don't like their attitude, or you just decide, this is not really somebody I want to work with. And so any of those answers are going to come up in your business, and that's okay. So when you write down their contact date, you just put down the date, the 5th of May. You don't have to keep years unless you want to. And as you start to contact people, you're gonna, if you're brand new, you're gonna be bringing your upline onto the calls with you, or you might be getting them to a website or whatever. You're just gonna contact them and ask them basically, would they be interested in getting more information? And you might not use those words, that's fine, but that's kind of the bottom line of that first conversation, is to just see if they're interested. And one of the ways you do that is by using form. And form is simply family, occupation, recreation, and money. You'll see other trainings in the system about that. What you want to do is, as you're talking with people, you always want to really ask a lot more questions than you do talking. And so really there's a there's an observation that I've seen people make in network marketing, which is a lot of network marketers say they hate sales, but we tend to be really the worst about being salesy to people. We call people up and we say, you got to try this, and we push, 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 push. And you don't really want to do that. You just want to contact them and really kind of build a relationship and see if there's any interest. And so as you're contacting people, you're going to jot that date down. And what you don't want to do is, you don't want there to be a big gap between the date you contacted them and the date you maybe do a presentation or try to enroll them. Once you kind of start that cycle off, you really want to move through it as quickly as you can. And for some people, that may be hours. For some people, that may be days. If it starts to get into weeks, then that's probably not somebody you're going to be able to work with. And so, again, you're going to move them from left to right across the page. And just so you understand, a presentation In that next column, the presentation is simply anything you do to validate either the products or the business opportunity. And that could be a three-way call, it could be a conference call, it could be sitting with them and listening to a CD, putting on a DVD for them, taking them to a website. And again, you really want to go through the information with people. You don't want to just blindly send them out to the internet or send them out to an audio. Really, if you can at all, you want to do that with them. And so that's a presentation, and so it's not really very complicated. And if you can, definitely use some third-party validation tools like a video or an audio or a conference call, because your friend doesn't maybe necessarily know you are in business or even know that you are a successful business person. And so a lot of times that extra validation from an outside source other than you is really the best way to do that. And so once they've been to a website or listened to an audio, you're just going to simply help them make a decision. And the way you help them is not by pressuring them. You just simply help them make a decision by asking, are you ready to get started? And when you ask if they're ready to get started, they'll either say yes or they'll say no. If they say no, that's fine. Just say, okay, no problem. What would you like to see that will help you be able to get the information you need to make a decision? So you're just going to, again, no hard sales. You're just working with them, really offering to create solutions for them or answer their questions. And really, if you don't know the answer to one of your questions, you say, you know what, that is a great question. I tell you what, one of the things that you'll have the opportunity to do is to work with other people besides just me. And so whether you're coming on as a customer or maybe you're interested in the business, doesn't really matter. I want to introduce you to somebody that you'll have the opportunity and privilege to work with. So hold on just a minute. Let's get an answer to your question, and then boom, pop them onto a three-way call with your upline. Of course, work that out ahead of time so they know you're going to call them. So they're ready for you. But what you want to do again is just create solutions and answer people's questions. And as you do that, some will enroll over here in this next column. And when they do, you just put them, write down the date, and congratulations, you just enrolled somebody. And there will be a lot of times where you don't enroll them. They're not ready. The timing isn't right for them. Maybe they're completely broke and they just really have no idea how they're going to be able to do this. Whatever happens is really okay. In that case, we want to go ahead and move them to the drip list. We don't want to just like let them go forever unless they were like extremely rude or something like that. You might just in all your put them on the drip list, but all that really means is you're just going to touch base with them later. You're going to continue to build a relationship. 2 months from now, you might shoot them an email and say, hey Bob, this is Joe. Hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope you're really doing well. And just a simple message like that. There have definitely been people who years later, just through the relationship that was created, come back and say, you know what, the opportunity wasn't right for me then, but now I'm really looking for something. Is there any way you could work with me? And so that's how we work with people. And kind of, again, we're moving them from left to right across the page. And then what we want to do is, let me go ahead and pull up, I just kind of typed up a couple of examples so we could get a feel for what this might actually look like. And so you can see here I'm working with Bob Carroll, and I know that he wants to be home with his kids. So I just jot that down. And again, if you need 2 lines to do that, that's perfectly acceptable. Jot down their best contact information you have, the date you contacted them, and did a presentation. Again, once you contact them, you want that to really go through as quickly as possible, the contacting and the presentation. I don't mean that those sessions have to be extremely short. I just mean you don't want there to be 2 weeks between the date you contacted them and when you did the presentation. And so, and some you'll enroll and some you won't. You'll just move them to your drip list. And so that's how you use the names list. And again, you want to work with your upline if you're brand new. You definitely want to listen to the trainings on form, the coaching sessions that are available, because that's going to really help you as you contact these people. And if your upline is available, definitely contact them with your upline. And so that's how you use the names list, and I hope you have a great day.